Our people in the room here with us this morning. Special welcome to our public forum that are with us this morning, and to those members and community members who are and staff who are online with us this morning. Kia ora everybody, and we'll start this morning with karakia. Kei a koe te karakia whae, Dolly? Whae. Kei mai tau.
Kia mā kina ki uta, kia mā taratara ki pai, e hia ke ana te ata kura, he tio, he huka, he ahau, ti hei mai ura.
Thank you, Marlena. Morning everybody, welcome to our Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board meeting for Wednesday 30th of December 2023. We are expecting Member Edwards to arrive shortly to our meeting, so we're going to start this morning with public forum, and we have in public forum today Wally Hicks, and he'll be talking to us about tirohanga nui, big vision for Kaikohe. Kia ora, Wally. You have 5 minutes. I'm sure you know the drill. Please feel free to sit down. You don't need to stand.
Well, I will stand because my I hope this is okay if I stand here, because of my very limited understanding of Pekana Māori. I'd like to include Manahiri. We've all been joined, I gather, by the I'm an exponent of a thing called playback theatre, where we make theatre out of people's stories from told by members of the audience, and we do it without a script or without anything. So I can't speak with notes in my hand, and I just get up and wing it. And so first I'd like to begin by apologising for the government that we've elected upon ourselves, and central government, and also for there not being a government of any kind or a party that I can find even short the Greens come closest to it, for saying things like the world's expert on climate science, who says basically 2023, which is about to finish, gives us 7 years to reduce our emissions to 2050 standards by 2030. Otherwise, the Earth's is going to warm by 4 degrees Celsius, and the central latitudes will become uninhabitable. All the people will come either here or go north. I want some form of government in the country to start thinking the future in those kind of terms, which is what I believe I'm doing and what I believe I've presented to you in the form of the tirohanga. We already have tirohanga, which is a plan for the sort of the settlement area roughly called Kaikohe, and I'm talking about tirohanga nui for a larger area, which I call the ward representative catchment area. I'm thinking of a waste catchment area called North Hokianga, where we generate enough plastic, enough pine trees, enough biomass waste, and since submitting an RFS about fast ox gasification, the process for converting all this into renewable diesel fuel, we also generate enough poo sludge from our sewage ponds, and all of this will go into the gasifier and be molecularly destructive. In other words, we actually get rid of it completely. It's gone. It gets turned into a gas called syngas, which we can make renewable diesel fuel out of, and the other byproduct is inert stone. And that inert stone is going to have some contaminants in it. What I want you to consider is that we may be living by some what I call half tenets or half axioms. So I am what I eat, but I think that's incomplete. I am what I eat, and I am how I treat what I eat. And I think that goes for the Hippocratic Oath as well. So first, do no harm, and it turns out that that's almost impossible, if not possibly impossible, for human beings to do. So next, do least harm. And what I believe I'm offering you here, in terms of a big plan for North Hokianga, is a least harm model that you could make a model of to show off to the rest of the country, and hopefully get you guys re-elected as well, because well, you know, there are various stages of advancement in local government, and arguably Whānau District is at the higher level of that. Let's compare it to Kaikohe, and I don't really want to. And so the model is of a donut economy in as much as it can possibly be in North Hokianga alone, between Kaikohe and Miti, and all that encompasses 400 square kilometres with last census 183 people living in it. The idea is to create industry and other industry, there are industries there already, and get people coming home, and those industries would include building houses from the pine trees harvested in the area, and the pine tree slash goes into the gasifier and makes diesel fuel for our diesel cars. We all change to diesel cars. And in order to offset the emissions that we make by going on using these diesel cars for the next 30 years, and therefore not importing EVs, which have a huge carbon footprint, apparently twice the carbon footprint to put an EV on the lot, the car lot, as it is to put an ICE engine car on the lot. And we make our cars last for the next 30 years, and in the meantime plant 50 native trees, native plants, the 50 native plants for every one pine tree we take out. We don't want the pine trees, and that offsets the emissions from continuing to burn the fuel while we work out what in 20, 30 years' time we're going to be travelling around in, which might be some kind of tuk-tuk type thing, with a little, with either the pedal, or maybe it has a tiny little motor, and we continue to use biodiesel, but it's in minute amounts. Just with regard to a closed economy, our first Labor government, bless them, and bless St Michael Joseph Savage for this, they meant the pine tree industry to remain in the ecosystem that it was most suited to, which is the volcanic plateau in the Central North Island, and have an industry attached to it, which used it all up, which was the pulp and paper industry. And if we kept going with that and not let them out of there, then and decided that we wouldn't bleach the paper anymore, we'd probably have a pulp and paper industry functioning really well at Kaikohe, and we wouldn't have a horribly polluted Kaikohe River, because we would have stopped running it through the mill in order to bleach the paper. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about, and I'm wondering if I was a millionaire standing here, or a famous movie actor or something, whether I would have any more sway in you guys maybe helping me to find some way of promoting this into, firstly, the council and into central government. Now, I'll just finish by saying I did make a written and oral submission in this basically the same form to the emissions reduction plan. And on the day that I presented orally, which I really failed miserably at, they had an expert there to talk just only to my submission, and two of the ministers, Stuart Nash being one and another one, they both said that they said these words, and it's on record. This is an excellent submission, and the expert said that too. And so there's some verification that what I'm talking about, the guy who created the Fastlock's gasification method of gasification, which has got a bad name because of Michael Moore. This isn't that. Former President Barack Obama described this guy, Mike Hart, as a world changer. And he came to New Zealand and offered it to New Zealand first. He thinks New Zealand could be the first country in the whole world to be self-sufficient in diesel fuel. And just for your interest, we use 1.4 million litres of diesel, 1.7 million litres of diesel fuel per day in this country. That's got to come from somewhere. And that's the end of my submission, but I'd really love to talk to anybody on the phone or by email or anything. If you're interested, please get in touch with me, or can I get in touch with you?
Kia ora, Wally. Thank you, Wally. And if that's what you call winging it, Wally, then you wing it well. And in my opinion, you look like a movie star. So there you go. So any pathway for Wally?
Yeah, I do, Wally. Look, you raised this a few times, and what I like, you did mention at the end, and I did write down what did they actually want from us. A lot of what you're talking about is actually outside of what the community board can do. What I would suggest, if you can, I'll ring you afterwards, and we'll look at perhaps starting with Northland Inc., the CEO, and your community plans. And why I say that is because he has already said that he wants to actually help give effect to community plans. So that's all of our communities,
Right.
and North Hokianga being one of them. So what if I ring you up, we'll look at getting a meeting, because between now and Christmas, and I know you've got a busy time for you.
Well, no,
I'm just being big, but so
probably it is for you.
yeah, but so let's get something going so we can get some more out of it, whatever it looks like. May get some action plans, and then we can maybe come back to the community board and you can update them where you're at.
Yeah.
And if a recommendation, the community board has to go to council, then we can proceed that way.
Thank you. And I want to just, if I could take one more moment, just to say that I believe that Abraham Lincoln was also winging it at Gettysburg, and he was speaking aspirationally, not in reality, but the government of the people, by the people, for the people, and purest from the earth. I have a feeling it may not have been born yet. And I don't see why things can't rise up from community, and even from the low community. So, I'm going to say one more thing. I get the most excellent service here from these wonderful wahine who I believe kind of run this place, and there's another one over there. And I know that they all do two jobs for their one full-time job. And I've known Marley for probably 20 years, Marley. And I just have the most excellent service every time. Administrators of farm district council.
Thanks, Wally.
We would have to agree with you, Wally.
The praise those that stop you buying the chocolate fish for later.
Awesome. Kia ora, Wally. Okay, we'll move on and just welcome member Edwards to our meeting. She arrived a little bit late. Where are we moving to? Public forum. Deputations, speakers. Okay, moving to speakers, and today we have online. Here's our list. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Okay. So we have three speakers this morning. Our first one online is Dallas King, and Dallas is speaking on behalf of Ngāti Kaharo and Ngāti Hauhapu, and she has a verbal submission in regard to the new ground leasing to the Hokianga Bowling Club that we will be referring to later. Kia ora, Dallas.
Tēnā tātou. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, get the volume a boost. Haere tonu marae kura.
Morena koutou katoa, a ko Dallas King tōku ingoa, he uri tēnei no Hokianga, ki te tau o tōku mama no Omanaia a Waima o Taua Tāheke Whirinaki Noki, no Hoki actually no Panguru, ki te tau o tōku papa no Te Rangi no Whirinaki Ahau. So that's me. And tuatahi, me mihi aroha ki a koe whai chiki. This is the first time I've seen you, even though it's virtually, since the passing of your father. It was very sad to hear that he passed, and I just want to extend our condolences to you and to everybody who is maybe online or in this room today who has recently lost loved ones. So ngā mihi nui ki a koutou, ngā mihi aroha ki a koutou. This morning I would like to take some time. I just better talk my timer on so that I don't take up more time than I'm allowed. This morning I am speaking to you on behalf of, as the Hapu Kai Kōrero for Ngāti Kaharo and Ngāti Hauhapu ki Hokianga. And part of our rohe extends, of course, and includes Rawene Township, which we know locally as Okura. Rawene is probably actually more just around the corner, the location of that is just around the corner by the golf course. In saying that, I was pleased to see that the Rawene Bowling Club has reapplied for an extension of their lease. And I just wanted to share with you some of the context as it applies to Hapu and why we support this lease to be granted to them and extended to them. And so if it's okay with you, I'll just run through a couple of key things. I think first and foremost for us, it's the most participated in recreational service for our kaumātua and kuia. So kaumātua and kuia have limited physical ability. They're not elite athletes, but they're still elite in their mind, and this place is one of the places in our community that allows them to maintain important recreational activity, but probably more importantly is the connectedness that comes out of that club. And they often will have times where they'll take mokopuna in. I know that all of my children have bowled at that club. They've gone hand in hand with their nanny, Auntie Y. My mum's sister, she is a consistent bowler, always has been, and funny little things that show the intergenerational benefit of clubs like the Rawene Bowling Club is, for instance, when my middle daughter started bowling and the bowls that she was using were a little bit big. And so one of my other aunties pulls out one of our old uncles, like my grand uncle's bowls, and gives them to her. And it's this crabby little case, but inside were these gorgeous bowls. Now, why is this important? I guess I'm trying to allude to the heritage that is attached to the sport and also that particular club. Recently, they held the Maggie Hauraki, or for us in Omanai, we knew her as Nani Maiki, Krani Maiki tournament, and it was huge, and there were cars everywhere, and there were people milling around. And I thought then, yeah, actually, it's also about economic vibrancy, about bringing different types of visitors to our community. It's about a recreational option that presents a solution and an opportunity to connect and be competitive in a sporting way for people who are not as physically able as others too. And another example I would like to share about why this is important in terms of the diversity of recreation is that we did a bit of a survey of secondary school students in and around Hokianga, and we were really interested in the students who were not necessarily the ones that were in the rugby team or the touch team, and they weren't sort of able to or feeling willing or confident to participate in sports in that way. And when we looked into those tamariki, they all though had a crack at bowls. I said, hey, have you guys ever played bowls before? So we got the nannies to come in and they took them. Next minute, Opanoni already had a very active bowls team, a champion bowls team actually, Opanoni area school. And next minute, Te Kura Taumatoa Pangaru has got bowlers. Who's even heard of Te Kura Taumatoa Pangaru having a bowls team? And so I won't go on too much more about that. I think you get the picture. But one thing that's recently become really important to us is just being present and saying what we do support, so that it doesn't look like we're always not supporting things at council. As Hapu, we do support this. We want them to have their lease renewed. They are great tenants. The facilities have been largely improved recently, and out of a lot of fundraising that I know that they've done personally. And so I think I just wanted to say we think it's great. We look forward to our other whanaunga, Marlene Castles, who Marlene Castle, I'm not sure if you know, if you guys are avid bowlers. She's also Ngāti Kaharo, not Te Whānau Beasley. She is a world champion, gold medalist indoor bowls in the year 2000, also a Commonwealth Games medalist, silver and 2 bronze medals at 3 respective Commonwealth Games. She's from Omanaya, she's from Rawene, she's a Beasley, and she recently came back up and visited us at the marae, and her daughter Raylene Castle, Sport New Zealand CEO, and those were some of the things that they remarked about, that they were so chuffed to see local bowling clubs enabling local people to play bowls, and we think it's important too. So that's really what I'm here to say. And I also wanted to make myself available on behalf of Ngāti Kahara and Ngāti Hauhaku. Sorry about the background noise, I'm just on the side room from Mahi at Tamahurehure Marae in Auckland at the moment, so there's a tiny thing going on over there. But yeah, I wanted to make myself available for questioning. I won't carry on, I'm at my time limit, so ngā mihi nui kia koutou.
Kōrero. Does anybody have any questions for Dallas? No. I think all of what you've said, Dallas, rings true to all of us. You know, bowling clubs and sporting clubs are definitely places for everybody, but particularly queer kaumātua. And since I'm nearing that status, you know, I'm all about queer and kaumātua. So really awesome to hear from you today. Ngā mihi nui ki a koe. Okay, so we'll move on to our next speaker of the day, and that is Pip Job on behalf of Kaikohe Polo Cross. Kia ora, Pip. You can come and sit at the chair.
Oh, okay,
you don't have to Kia ora, you're
Again, not a movie star, and I'm going to be winging it.
all good. That's what we like. Speak from the heart.
Well, kia ora. My name is Pip Job. I'm the treasurer and funding coordinator for Kaikohe Polo Cross Club. For those of you that don't know, polo cross is not a huge sport, but we actually in Kaikohe have the largest club in New Zealand with about approximately 40 playing members and another 20 to 30 social members. So it's a really family orientated sport. It's a cross between polo and lacrosse. So if you all know what polo is, it's on horses, and lacrosse is an American-Canadian game. So it's similar to that. So I don't know if any of you have been down. We have our annual carnival at Kaikohe Showgrounds, AMP grounds, in January every year, middle of January. This year it's the 13th and 14th of January. And so this club of ours has been going. Many of you may know the Selinsky family, the well-known family in Kaikohe. So the late Bill Selinsky was a founding member of the club some 50 years ago. So basically, our club is very. It would be nothing to have be playing in a team with 3 generations, and there aren't many sports where you can do that. For example, so. That's particularly what I love about it. This is a very family, whānau-orientated sport. And yes, so many of our families have all ended up marrying other polo cross players within New Zealand and, you know, bred more polo cross players, and that's pretty much how it kind of goes. So yeah, many of you would know the Selinsky family. Our club in particular, over the last 4 to 5 seasons, we've actually produced between 10 and 12 New Zealand reps across all the grades, so junior, intermediate and senior. And we currently have four New Zealand reps in the World Cup squad of 8. So they pick 8 across the country. There's about 300 players in the country. So yeah, we're basically, our funding application is centred around trying to one, get some extra horse pens, because when our people from all around the country come to our polo cross carnival from as far as Taumanui, they bring their horses with them, and their horses are put in pens for the weekend. They're taken out and grazed, etc., but they need to be in a wooden pen. And so part of our application is to get some funding to create and build 30 extra pens, which will be fixed pens. So these pens will benefit many of the equestrian sports around Northland will benefit from these 40 pens that our club will build. So there's show jumping, dressage, equitation. The showgrounds down the road here or across the road, should I say, are, you know, really well used throughout the year. So the whole community would benefit from them. So, yeah, I'm not sure if I should say anything more.
Thank you, Pip.
Thank you very
You
much.
still actually have 2 minutes left.
Oh, do I? Oh, okay.
But you don't have to use them up. We can ask you some questions if we have any.
Yeah, do ask away.
Okay, firstly, thanks for your application. You mentioned 4 New Zealand reps. Have we had any Northland reps? Is the crossboy one of those people? Or is that a different sport?
Oh, that's no, that's a different sport. That's
Still a horse though, eh?
yeah. So they would be using the showgrounds as mounted games.
Oh, right.
Sherry Cross.
That's right.
Sherry Cross. Yeah.
Sherry, yeah. So any Northland reps?
Yeah. So basically, all of our club are involved in our reps. So every year a club gets a turn at holding the national champs, and this year in March it's our turn to hold it.
Cool.
So that's why we're trying to establish some more.
And have you done it before? Have you?
Yeah,
hosted
5 years ago. 5 years ago. So it brings a lot more people up this way.
So the building of those pens means that they stay there for another 5 years and can be used in the next.
Well, they'll stay there forever. Yeah. Until they rot.
Thanks for bringing this into the light. I had no idea that we had the sport here.
Yeah. So we've got the biggest club in New Zealand. Yeah. I think there's 6 clubs in New Zealand, and so we've just come back from a tournament, for example, down to counties in the weekend, and we took 3.5 teams with us, and that was, we would normally have another 2 teams that we would take. So pretty much without our club, we don't really have a sport. So we've really done a lot of growth. There's been a lot of growth within our sport in the last 5 to 10 years. So, yeah.
And nice that you mentioned Bill Zielinski. I remember Bill yelling me lollies.
Yeah, down at the theory.
Not Rolly Wilson's, but nice to
He's a great
him.
community man, and you'll know Rhonda, she's involved in the hub, and Craig and John obviously have the forestry business here. So.
Any further questions for Bill?
Liam Slinsky, yeah. So, my daughter was actually involved in the last 2 years. She was in the New Zealand junior team. And the year before last, she was with Liam Slinsky and Acacia Slinsky. So, yeah, it's a real family.
It is. Patua Bay, do you have a pathway for Pip?
Just a couple of questions. First of all, fantastic. I recall the Zielinski family and their horses down Taheke Road, and the Daltons. We're all sort of intermingled somewhere, but does the club use the showgrounds as part of the club field, or is it just for the nationals and so forth?
No, every year we hold our annual Polocross Club Carnival in January. We use the showgrounds there, but we'll be using the showgrounds again in March, and that's like every 5 years.
And are there any other clubs that use the showgrounds? And I just wondered whether there's been some dialogue between yourselves and them around these pens that are being to be erected.
Yes, so we've got Carmen Zielinski, John's wife. She's on the board of not on the board, so she's on the committee at the showgrounds. So she, we've been talking about getting new pens for a while now, and I said, right, I'm just going to get this shovel the road and make some stuff happen. So we, so they're all on board too, but yeah, we just thought, well, the whole community is going to benefit from extra facilities for our horses, travelling horses.
The last question: do you see any obstacles to any other clubs of the pens at all?
All right, so what did you
The obstacles to. Sorry, what was the last bit, mate?
See any obstacles on behalf of any other clubs that would use this? Use the showgrounds.
What does he mean by obstacles?
Are there any obstacles preventing other clubs?
Would any other clubs have problems with these
problem with
pens.
the pens.
Oh, I know, they'll be embracing it because there've been more
Yep.
opportunities to hold larger equestrian events there because there'll be the ability to hold more horses. So.
Fantastic. I'm glad they're getting pens because I used to ride calves when I was younger, and we used to have to catch them in a little thing there, and then hop on them in a field, and you get kicked off before you actually go into the ground area. Thank you very much.
I understand, babe, they're looking for new members.
Yeah, we're really members. Age is no barrier. Yeah.
Okay. Any further part-time note?
My father-in-law was still playing polocross at 72. So yeah, well, a few years ago we had a chucker because there's 6 in a team, but there's 3 that go on at a time, and then they come off and the other 3 go on. So we had a chucker of myself and my daughter. So there was 3 generations. It was pretty cool. You can't play rugby with 3 different generations.
No.
Correct. Although my husband would like to play rugby with his sons.
Right. Thank you, Pip.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you. Awesome.
Thank you.
Our next speaker today is from Kaikohe College, Bill Weaver, and Bill's here to talk to her application for funding for Kaikohe College item 7.4C. Kia ora, Bill, we're all yours.
Kia ora tātou. My name is Bill Weber and I do all the finance and property at Kaikohe College. Kaikohe College is going to be hosting the Tautokoro Kapahaka Festival in April of next year. It's a 2-day event. We will be having 2 stages running side by side. We are looking at about 30 kura attending the festival, and at the moment it looks probably about 5 kura from the Kaikohe-Hokianga. The expense to our school is massive. We've done a budget, and for just the basics of making the festival happen and for it to be a success is $100,800. Yesterday I went up to Kaitaia and was very successful at the Tahaku Community Board meeting, but I'm here today because we need as much assistance as could possibly be given to make the festival happen. We have applied to other funding sources, but some of those don't meet till February, March, and our festival is in April, so it's a pretty fine line for us. I mean, we know that a lot of funding sources don't support anything NCEA accredited, but Kapahaka at Kaikohe College is not a curriculum subject. Kapahaka at Kaikohe College is done voluntarily after hours and in the weekend, so that's how we're ticking our boxes at this point. It's not part of our curriculum. We're having to hire a marquee, which is $23,600. Our staging, sound, lighting and PA system is $42,450 for 2 days, plus security, and we've got to provide kai, which we would never not, but those are the expenses that we have got to find a lot of funding for. So anything that the community board thinks today they'd like to give us would be greatly received. And whilst we did apply yesterday and were successful, we would please be rest assured we would spend it very, very wisely on that festival and be able to report back to you with receipts and documentation to show where the funding has gone.
Any questions for Phil?
Yeah, I do have one. I was just looking at the application here. One of the, I don't know if it was said to you, and one question I had, I think you've answered it, but just so that we all can hear it again, is that generally 50% funding was expected either in kind or whatever, and then the request being made. So what is you're saying the total cost that to Kaikohe College, so you're looking at everything involved, the volunteer hours and everything else, around about
$100,800 with just what we need to get the festival going that morning. What we need to have on site that's what it's going to cost. The trot committee they apply to IA for funding, and whatever funding that they get, they will give us a portion of that, which goes towards some of the sound and staging and lighting. We are envisaging, and we have been told, to expect between 8 and 10,000 people into the community of Kaikohe for those 2 days. So, you know, it's really big for our community.
Yeah, no, I understand all that.
Yeah.
There should be an application just so that we can see just how big the boat cost. That's all. That's great. Thank you. So we've got that to know.
Thank you.
Any further questions for Phil or from anyone? By chance?
So the kapa namahi kia koe. Good to see you. Okay. Just wanting to say kapa haka should be
I know.
a curriculum base.
Yep.
Especially with our high Māori population in the place that we are here.
I absolutely agree with you,
So-
but that's above my pay grade at
Yeah.
school, so it's not anything that I can.
Yeah, so-
And I agree. I absolutely 100% agree with you. Because of the buy-in that we get from our students that want to be part of it. I agree.
And the amount of funding amount of money that will come through setting up of stores and things like that is exponential. You know, there will be a lot. So have a lot of kai ready for sale.
Yeah, we've already put it out to the school community of Kaikohe and to the primary across the road for stalls and sales of wares. And next week, I believe it's going out to the communities to, anyone wants a stall, that's what we want. We're going to have a lot of kai stalls on site.
What an exciting experience for Kaikohe.
Yeah, the last time we hosted it was in 2008. So we're ready, but we know what's involved to make it a success. Yeah.
So Phil, if you didn't get the funding required, is it the $100,000 I think you mentioned, what could you cut back on?
There's not a lot on that $100,000 budget that we can cut back on. We have set aside a portion in our school budget, but the more we take out of our school budget, as you know, means that our students lose more out of their learning experiences next year. And we do not want that to happen because some resources of that just won't be able to be purchased if we're putting it towards the Kapahaka Festival. We have applied to Foundation North. We know that we are hoping that Trot are going to help us, but in the meantime, we just have to keep moving forward and see what we can get because until the day happens, we don't know where we're at.
Right, any further part-time audience? Okay, thank you, Phil. Thank you very much for your presentation this morning.
Thank you.
And certainly looking forward to that event happening in our ward.
I know, it will be fantastic.
It will. Okay, so moving on to apologies. Just before we do, thanks ladies. Hi, just before we do that, have we had any word from where Jessie is? Because I'm aware that Trinity needs to be away shortly and it's 11:45.
No, nothing from me.
Nothing yet? Okay. I'll check it. All right, so apologies for today. Do we have any apologies? Hanami Gundry.
Jessie.
Jessica McVeigh will be late. Mike is online. Kia ora, Mike. Nice to have you online. And Babe. Anybody else? That's us here. Okay. Page 8. Okay, the recommendation is that the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board confirms the minutes of the meeting held 22nd of November 2023 is a true and correct record. I'll move that. Ophelia will second that. Thank you. All those in favour? Ayes. Moving to reports. Just thank you, Ms. Ophelia, for your report. Our only report today.
Happy to move.
Huh?
I'm happy to move it.
Thank you.
And I'll second it.
Councillor Newton for moving that report.
I have one
And
question. I have one
by
question.
Tanya for
Yes,
seconding
please.
it. Questions?
One question, and this is on page 20. It's mentioned the ceiling and Kaikohe-Hokianga. Are they, so they're not run by the ministry, but are they receiving support and funding from the ministry?
They're funded through the Kohanga National Trust, and it's very, very limited. It's based on numbers, and Kohanga don't have the same amount of funding that preschool early childhood have. It will be a very, very big ask to squeeze money out of there.
No, they can't do that.
Yeah,
They can't
but
accept another thing about that.
But yeah, that's where that sits.
That's question. Thank you.
Just a comment about that from me is that I wonder how many other kohanga reo there are out there who have the same issue going on and aren't aware of any process to support them or know that there's a mechanism to.
Just to further comment on that, is the council has had a ceiling budget put aside, as David noted, and there were certain criteria. One was, is there houses near the road? You know, so it's got nothing to do who's running it. And likewise, are there schools? And this would be one. So again, we don't look at who's running the school and various other things. So just probably worth following up to make sure that the staff of the council know that location is there and it's a school. The number of students coming would be good.
I do understand that there was foot parking put in, but nowhere near where the kohanga is. That was quite a while ago. But yeah, right. Thank you.
Matua Babe, Kaikohe?
Yeah, I was just listening to what Councillor Visage talked about. Don, I just wanted to clarify that. Was that through that the roading where they were looking at sealing outside marae, kohanga reo and the like?
Yeah,
is that what you're referring to?
It was a roading dust matrix.
Dust matrix, yeah.
The dust matrix, yeah.
Okay, and in this case, the kohanga reo are applying for. I just didn't quite catch that page you were referring to.
Oh, that was
My report.
page 20.
Page 20.
Yeah, and towards the middle of the bottom there, just the seal.
Yeah.
The seal.
If brought up and taken up to council for council to consider, there's the historical dust suppressant request, but sealing and footpath for the little tiny Māori village of Otago would be really, really a priority for something that we could get across the line, hopefully within whatever funding that you could access for that little community.
Matua Babe, are you part of that road sealing group?
It comes to council, yes.
It's a full council one, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that is definitely something that could please be raised at council for councillors to consider.
Through the chair, I also understand that Councillor Hokianga Harawira included the sealing of outside of schools, kohangas and maraes in part of the LTP Māori wards.
That's what I thought it was too.
So I understand it is in there, so it's on their radar.
Mm.
I'm just wondering about Kaikohe as well, churches in the area.
I think that area was missed, but if it's a part of the marae complex, that's probably covered.
And if at all we could receive any update of what's that looking like or where that's going up, not to, just so we could give a little bit of feedback to the community that have raised it with us. We've actually met with them. Yes, you go.
Thank you, Member Felia, for your report today. Moving on to page. I'm sorry, we need to put that to a vote. All those in favour?
Right.
Aye. Any against? Moving on to page 22. There's a recommendation here that the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board recommends that Council approves the new ground lease to be issued to Hokianga Bowling Club incorporating over approximately 2,700.9 squared metres of land, being sections 153, 157, 158, TN of Raoni, located at 61 Dependent East. Raoni invested in the Far North District Council as a recreation reserve. The terms of the proposed lease shall be term 15 years, 5 plus 5 plus 5 allowed for under the Reserves Act 1977. Rental as per FNDC fees and charges schedule for a community lease, $118 plus GST for 2023-24 and reviewed annually in conjunction with the FNDC fees and charges schedule. And B, approve spending conditions to be negotiated and agreed upon by the group manager, delivery and operations. Do I have a mover for that? Thank you, Member Filias. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Research.
I do have a question, and this is on B. I know the previous, there was issue, well, not issued, but the previous community board did look at this as well. And wanted to see it happen as too, but and member might want to comment. But just on B, what I'd like to know, approved further conditions, makes me a little bit nervous because I don't want conditions that make it very difficult for the club. They don't have a lot of money, so the question I've got is what conditions are we talking about here?
Thank you, Councillor Research. I'm wondering about the to be negotiated, but who do they negotiate with? Is that with the CEO or is that with, who's the group manager for delivery and operations? Is that?
That's Kevin
Johnson.
But I'm guessing it would be staff under him who are responsible for the lease, probably the property team, but we'll just try and bring Michelle in.
So that possibly would be where the negotiations would happen if they would.
Madam Chair, Michelle Raquel is online if you'd ask a question to her.
Kia ora, Michelle.
So, Michelle, I can message. I just on the, you may have heard me already, but just on point B, through further conditions, we don't know what those, well, I don't know what those conditions are. I didn't see them in the report, and I don't want to burden them with too much costs, given they are a small club. We heard from Dallas just how important it is to the community. Can you comment on that, please?
Sorry, I've just jumped in from another meeting. Can you please repeat your question? I didn't hear any of it.
Didn't, okay. Point B, which is page 22, and this is for the lease on the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board recommendation for the bowling club, Hokianga Bowling Club Incorporation. What are the conditions that are likely to be negotiated with them? I just want an idea of what it is. Don't want to overburden them. They're not a wealthy club.
No, they're definitely not a wealthy club. The terms would be the rental fee. So that's as per the FNDC's fees and charges. We could renegotiate the term if need be. Nothing huge, to be honest. Nothing different than our other community leases would have.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that satisfies me, because we are actually approving the term and we're stating it as governance as 5 plus 5 plus 5. And we've also got the fee in there. So any changes to what we're recommending, I'd expect that to come back through the community board.
Yes, definitely.
All right. As long as that can be noted, I'm happy then to move.
Yeah.
Can I just also ask a question, and this is in regards to, I suppose, leases that we're experiencing in the Raoni area and small areas, is where I note, and I just want to question, what is it? So there's a lease here, and are there terms of reference or memorandum of understandings likely to occur for this club in future? And can I refer that, Madam Chair, to Michelle?
Through the Chair, not particularly a memorandum of understanding. We have no major concerns or issues with this club. that we have had in the past or foresee. So we would have no reason to do a memorandum of understanding, but if any should occur, we can definitely put one in place.
In the event of something like that occurring and putting in place, how would they be made aware? Normal circumstances? Will they come through the community board as an awareness?
I think normally memorandum of understandings are operational, but we could definitely involve you should one be needed to be implemented.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? All those in favour?
Right.
Aye. Any against? No abstentions. Okay, thank you. Moving on to page 30, our project funding reports.
Happy to move.
Thank you, Councillor Vucic, moving those reports. Do I have a seconder? No. Thank you. Any reports? Okay, so the recommendation is that the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board note the project reports received from Manaaki Tinana Trust and Kaikohe Pioneer Village. We've had those moved and seconded. Any discussion about any of those reports?
Just a comment that the 20,000 given for the Pioneer Village, you'll see that in the report in the supplementary additional information. And it does show how important the Pioneer Village is. And that's where the cycle trails, the offices move now as well. So I just commend them on the report that was done. I take it as all been read, so I'm not going to comment on that. But there is a crisis point, just to bring it to your attention. The crisis point is in summary, I believe, states that to continue to keep it operating, and it's very important for schools, as a part of the school curriculum now, and that is they are needing a 150k per annum on top of the current grant, and that will allow them to move forward from where they currently are to actually have full-time staff members to actually go and take it to the next stage. So that's where they are. I'm not asking for anything from the community board. The community board put a lot of funding into all that work to be done. So thank you to the community board on their behalf.
Are we thinking about any of the reports? Okay, the recommendation on the floor, those in favour? Yes. It's the face. Move on to our funding applications. Which is lovely. So our first recommendation is that the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board approves the sum of to be paid from the Board Community Fund to Kaikohe Polo Cross for 2024 Polo Cross Carnival to support the following community outcomes for our vibrant communities that are healthy, safe, connected and sustainable.
Yeah, I didn't move. I didn't have to admit who was upset. I wasn't aware that was the biggest club. I see them there at the when the carnival is run. It's great to see that. I didn't realise that they were so large, and I didn't realise that they had so many members and that they were critical to the sport. Bit of an anchor, if you like, an anchor stone for that sport in New Zealand. So that was quite encouraging. So I moved the full amount, they've recommended 2,500.
Thank you. That's Vucic, do I have a seconder for that? Thank you. Leah, all those in favour? Aye. Agreed. Second recommendation that the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board approves a sum of $545 per year to be paid in each of the 2023-24, 2024-25, 2025-26 financial years from the Board's Community Fund account to Okanoni Residents and Ratepayers Association for costs towards holding monthly meetings for the community to support the following community outcomes: proud, vibrant communities, communities that are healthy, safe, connected and sustainable. Do I have a mover?
I'd like to move that, please.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder for that? Yeah.
Trinity.
Any kōrero about that from anyone?
Yeah, I do want to say this raw food is currently coming under quite a bit of blom in regards to the wastewater treatment plant, and the fighting for their rights to be able to stay and speak on behalf of that. They're a community board, they're a board that has just worked so hard to stay afloat. So this funding will certainly help with that, to be able to hold their meetings.
Can I just question for you, Catherine, why would we not just pay the full amount to them and let them sort out the, is that?
They've asked for it for 3 years, and if we do it this way, it goes over 3 financial years for you, so you're not taking all of it out in one hit. Just to make it easier for you both as well, so we're not taking an extra $100.
Okay. All those in favour?
Aye.
Aye. Carried. Recommendation C, that the Hokianga Community Board approves a sum of $4,000 plus just the VAT application to be paid from the board's community fund account to Kaikohe College for 2024 Taitokero Festival to support the following community outcomes: proud, vibrant communities, communities that are healthy, safe, connected and sustainable. I'll move that recommendation. I have a seconder.
Yeah, I'll second
Thank you,
it.
Councillor Vucic. Do you have any conversation or
The conversation is, and when I saw the request, this is more than hard, but it's a pretty, so I see why the staff said that. When you look at the amount that they've actually put in, which is 100,000, if you look at the total in kind, I presume it's been
And through the chair, they were granted $10,000 from Creative Communities last week, and they got just over 6.5 yesterday from
great.
to Hickory.
So I think, yeah, so it's good support. So I'm happy with that.
all those in favour?
Aye.
Aye. Vote carries. Nine. Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board November Open Resolution Report. The recommendation is that the Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board receive the report, Kaikohe-Hokianga Community Board November Open Resolution Report. I'll move that recommendation. I have a seconder. Thank you, Member Edwards. Any kōrero around that report?
No.
It was the leading month. Okay. There's no further business. We'll close with our meeting.
We said on the phone, didn't we?
Oops, yep. Did we put it to a vote? Let's do that. All those in favour? Aye. I'll vote that being our last item on the agenda. Just want to remind everybody about the Kaikohe Christmas Parade this Friday in Kaikohe at 5:30, and thanks to Te Hauoro Ngāpuhi for organising that community day for us. And just a huge thank you to the staff that are here with us today and the staff that are behind the scenes that support the community board. It's been a huge year for everybody, particularly for us newbies. I just think the experience of the experience of Councillor Vucic and Member Mike Edmonds for their conversation around the table and just making us think about things differently sometimes. So just thank you both for all that you do.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. I do think we got, for the next 2 years, we've got a few challenges ahead of us. There's a lot still, the new government, there's still a lot on the table that was going to happen, like Three Waters, and now we're unsure where it is. So from that point of view, there is a lot of flux. I will be pushing, just so everybody knows, to actually have our long-term plan as much of a plan on there as possible, and also broken down by community interests. So for us, it's North Hokianga, South Hokianga and Kaikohe. So we can see exactly where things are going.
and real big, massive concern from us all, especially up home in Hokianga, with the corridor around this establishment of Māori ward councillors, and our Māori ward councillors as well as our councillors have brought so much support to this board in our communities. So that's going to be a real scary time for us as Te Iwi Māori, for our small communities.
Thank you, Ronald. On that note, Malima has something to say.
Oh no, just congratulations on your year, but also the change of the meeting date to Friday next year. So we're looking forward to that.
Fun Fridays.
Thank you. Thank you for the dates in advance all sorted so we can organise our other commitments. Thank you so much, Melissa, for your tautoko through this crazy time. And all of you have been amazing. I'm quite glad you can see.
Hei a koe te araki e whakamutunga tāpis.
Tira kātou mā kia inui, kātou kia tau, kia tātou tātou, kia tātou o tātou e kia I kaiti. Me te arawa o te atua, me te whiwhinga tahitanga ki te wairua tapu, ake, ake.
Raleigh, can you please confirm that the live will stop?
Aye.